Okay, this session here is going to be kind of cover three small items: FlowSense, FurrowJet, and Furrow Force. First, we're going to talk about FlowSense. I'm going to have Clint take apart a low flow FlowSense here and show you the turbine inside. It's the same low flow turbine that's in the HDs. So he popped that collet off the end and pulled that O-ring out, and now he's reaching his Deutsch tool in. You can't reach in there. It's too deep to reach in with a needle nose pliers. So it's pretty much a must to have one of these Deutsch tools with you to take a low flow out. You reach it into the end of that low flow, the hook of your Deutsch tool, and then grab it and pull it out. So that's how you would inspect a low flow turbine. Pretty much on these low flow turbines, if you can get them to spin, if it's froze up and you put them in warm soapy water and run water through them, and you get them, you can blow gently on the end, no compressed air, but you can blow gently on them. If you can get them to spin, they will almost always work again. Has been my experience. So these are serviceable. There's new ones if you do ruin one, obviously. But again, there's a flat spot on this low flow turbine, and the flat spot, you put flat to flat. So there's a flat spot on the FlowSense. And when you reinsert this back into the FlowSense, you're going to match the flat to the flat and then put it back in just the way it came out. So low flow in and give it a little push, and then the O-ring, and then the collet. There is a light on the FlowSense. A green light means it has power. So green means power, and an orange or yellow, it depends on how fast the turbine is spinning in there. But the light, there's a little light here, an LED light. If it's orange or yellowish, that indicates it's spinning. The turbine is spinning, and therefore you have flow. So that's all really that the light indicates on these, is if you have power, or then if there's liquid flowing on that. So we will move over to we're with a FurrowJet assembly here now. So these mini firmers, we want to replace these every year. They're $10 a row. The idea is to replace them, really, whether they look like they need it or not. And so that's an annual item for a FurrowJet. And then last year they came out with these manifolds. This manifold that's installed in this FurrowJet is the old style. They are still available, but I believe everybody's transition of my customers have transitioned to this new manifold. So it would mount in there just like this. And it's got the 3 hose barbs on the top that you would connect to, and these squirt tips on the FurrowJet are not orificed on this manifold, whereas on the old manifolds they are orificed. So you would have to buy a small, medium, large, extra large, etc., depending on your rate. So kind of the new way is to use this orifice in combination with this splitter. In this particular one is a 3/8 inlet to dual 1/4 inch outlet. And Clint's going to take it apart here. And there's rubber gaskets in there. And the idea behind this is that if one of the wings gets plugged, or both wings get plugged, or on this manifold, that the pressure would build inside this splitter, and within a few feet that pressure would build and blow that plug out, and it kind of unplugs itself, so to speak. Now, if you lower your planter and you back up accidentally and you really jam dirt in this, it's probably not going to unplug that. But for just regular running, these will plug if you run out of fluid or liquid, or if you're running a couple check strips with no liquid. These can plug on you, especially in the wings. And so this splitter concept helps to eliminate plugging. So they will come in the package broke apart like this. And so it's very important to put them together, put the two rubber gaskets together, and then clip and lock it in together before you put the disc orifices in there that set your rate. And let it sit like this for 30 minutes and then, or an hour, whatever. Let it sit for a little bit of time, and so it can squash those rubber gaskets together, and then undo it and put your orifices in and put them back together. And the reason we do that is because this locking mechanism can break if it's just right out of the package. Add the thicknesses of the orificing in there, put it together, and try to lock it in place. That locking mechanism can break on you. So if you do it ahead of time and squash that rubber, compress that rubber, then add your orifices, that's the way you want to do that to eliminate any breaking potential on that lock. One last thing is this is a low stick Keaton. So this has been made available the last couple of years. It does have this kind of reinforced neck design that helps it from, if you do back up with it, it helps it not bend or break. If you did back up with it or went around too tight a turn and the inside row went backwards. So that's incorporated into the low stick Keatons. And they are made out of a different material than the white Keatons, which retain their tension longer than the white Keatons, are more prone to absorbing moisture, and the moisture causes the plastic to not retain its tension over time. So these low stick Keatons should be an improvement over that, in addition to not allowing any soil to build up on this black plastic. So then finally, just a couple words on Furrow Force. As we said in the Gen 3 session, 2020.1 is required for Furrow Force that is running automated control. If you're running manual control, then obviously you really shouldn't upgrade to 2020.1. Just running 2020.0 would be what you'd want to do there. But 2020.1 for automated Furrow Force control. And to start out, first field, first day, your closing margin, you're going to have margin and ground contact just like you do in down force or delta force or air force. So your closing margin target should be around 50 to kind of start with. If you're running manual control, running in that 50 to 60 PSI range for starting out. And then obviously if you're in manual especially, you're gonna need to dig behind and see if you're happy with the performance. And again, think like you are the furrow when you're evaluating that. Think like you are the furrow, and what adjustments can I make to improve my performance on the way that the furrow looks to you as you evaluate and dig those cross sections across the furrow.